car dealer. With me in the studio is Nancy Stewart, my wife, co-host, and a strong consumer advocate, especially for our female listeners. We also have Rick Kearney, an expert on how to keep your car running right. I dare you to ask a question that Rick can't answer about the mechanics or electronics of your car. Also with us is my son, Stu Stewart, our link to cyberspace through Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Periscope. Stu is also the Spymaster Director of our Mystery Shopping Report. He dispatches our secret shopper weekly to an unsuspecting South Florida dealership. And now, on with the show.
Well, good morning, everybody. Here we are again. You heard my recorded introduction there. I think they're pretty much as represented. We have the original crew in the studio, and we're prepared to help you any way, shape, or form we can. Make your life easier out there in the car dealership land or independent repair land. It's one of the crosses we all must bear in life. Not all of us. I'm a car dealer, so I don't have to bear that cross. But if you're a consumer and you buy used or new cars, you've got to get them repaired and you got to buy them. And most people don't enjoy the experience of going into a car dealership. Some do. And the repair process can be similarly painful. We thrive on you, the listeners, the watchers. We're on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. We're all over cyberspace. We grew from a little old show many, many years ago, half an hour.
I'm only 4 years old, I think.
That's right, Stu was a baby, and we grew, and we're a 2-hour show on Saturday, 8 to 10 Eastern Standard Time, and we got callers from California, from Bali, from Canada, a lot of calls in the Northeast, and of course Florida. We're in South Florida. We're in the Sodom and Gomorrah of car dealers. We rarely find a market that is quite as, I don't know what the word, I do know the word, but I can't say it on the radio. The dealers here are very deceptive in their sales and trade practices and advertising. And we've even found some really, really bad ones out of state. We've got a mystery shopper now, Agent Lightning, who likes to travel. And she gets around, doesn't she? She's been in Pennsylvania. She's been in Tennessee. Where else she been? All over Florida, of course. Yeah, I mentioned that. Yeah. So anyway, we get to contrast Florida dealers with other dealers. We found some in Tennessee that were really bad, almost equal or maybe equal to some of the Florida car dealers. Then we found one there that was extraordinarily good. When I say found, that's the Mystery Shopping Report. And that Mystery Shopping Report is a highlight of the show, comes in the second half of the show. And we go into a car dealership. They don't know we're coming. I've never figured out why so few. We have been busted. We have been discovered. And we've had a few mystery shoppers had to flee because they were recognized or identified in some way. But we rarely do. I mean, I'd say you could count on the fingers of one hand, maybe two hands, over the hundreds and hundreds of mystery shopping reports we've done. But anyway, we get in undetected, and oftentimes, as in this case here, the dealership knows that the mystery shopper was there before. And they record, they have a computer, and they still don't get it. Here we are on the radio talking about their dealership, naming names, sales managers, salesmen, owners, what they did. Did they break the law? Did they violate the Florida statute on unfair and deceptive trade practices? Unethical advertising. You'd think that the word would leak back to the dealership, but in many cases, I guess it's difficult to really keep the radar out for mystery shoppers. You probably detract from your focus on business. Anyway, you're going to love the Mystery Shopping Report if you haven't seen one before. And even if you have seen it, this is a good one. Nancy and I were talking about it as we drove into the studio. A little faster than I like to drive, but we got a late start. And I can't find my pencil, so I can't write on my Rocketbook. So one of my colleagues here will get me some material with a real pencil that I can write on, so I can make notes. I like to write folks' names down when they call so I don't forget them. Rick, Jonathan's trying to get your attention. There you go. So as you can see, we're very informal here.
Is that for
Very,
a rocket
yes,
book?
That's exactly right. And I need I'll write on the back of a piece of paper here.
Is that a rocket book?
This
Pen? No rocket book pen.
So, we chit-chat just like you weren't there, and I hope that's acceptable. I like being natural and normal, and I like you to hear who we really are. We pride ourselves on transparency and honesty, not accuracy, but certainly transparency and honesty. We had anonymous feedback, and my son Stu Stewart monitors our anonymous feedbacks. By the way, if you don't know what that is, very popular way to communicate with the show, youranonymousfeedback.com. It's a URL, it's a web address, and you go to youranonymous feedback, feedback.com, youranonymousfeedback.com, and you can communicate with us one way or two way. You can just tell us what you want to say, and you don't give your way to be recontacted, or you can say you can recontact me, and I will recontact you, but I won't know your real email or your real phone number or your real identity. It'll go through the website that cleanses and protects your privacy and your anonymity. Anyway, I digress. We had one of those anonymous feedbacks that said I'd messed up on a blog. And I wrote a blog years ago, I guess. Stu can probably pull it up when we get to that point of the show, when it gets to that anonymous feedback. And I was talking about a very deceptive old school dealership trick called the 4 square system. 4, like the number 4 is square, like, a square. And it's a system of tricking you into buying a car to pay more money. And they said that I had not explained it properly. Clearly, the anonymous feedback came from a car dealer.
Well, we're not evil enough to really understand how it's used. I thought about that when I read it. I'm like, okay, we probably got it wrong. I think the gist of what we said was it was just a way to kind of distract and confuse and focus on what the customer's hot button was. And it's not an effective way to present.
Well, see, now you're getting defensive. So
I'm always defensive.
You get defensive, and I know a lot of very defensive people. What I try, what's the word I use? I'm a recovery car dealer now.
Your transcendence?
Yeah, I'm purified.
Right.
Anyway, I'm not as defensive as I used to be. I thrive on mistakes, and I want to correct that because it's important. When you ask for constructive criticism, and you get criticized, and you counterattack or get defensive, it mitigates the effect. It makes the contributor say, "Well, he didn't like he didn't like me saying that." But when you like people to give you constructive criticism, the criticism flows. Now, you certainly get some disingenuous and inaccurate criticism, but you also get real criticism. And what better way to get better in life than to change for the better? And what better way to find out what changes need to be done by genuine constructive criticism? So keep that constructive criticism coming. Might not agree with you, but we might agree with you. And we hope that you have something that can help us get better. Youranonymousfeedback.com, or you brave people out there that just look you in the eye and say, "Hey, listen, fella, this is what you need to change." We got a text number, and that text number is 772-497-6530. 772-497-6530, and of course, the telephone. Now, you kiddies out there, born in the 80s and 90s, probably don't know what a telephone was. Today we call them smartphones, but they had numbers, and we still use the numbers. We don't use the phones anymore, but we call them phone numbers anyway. And it's confusing to you millennials, maybe. But that number is 877-960-9960. 877-960-9960, and YouTube is just, as I'm not going to go to Rick right now. He monitors his YouTube, but he's already got some YouTubes coming in, and I'm sure we have some text coming in. Nancy Stewart monitors the telephone, and when the telephone numbers come, when that phone rings, they don't ring anymore. They can make different sounds, but you know what I'm saying. When a telephone lights up on Nancy's computer, we stop everything and we go to the call because we prioritize normal phone calls. Why? Yeah, they're a little old-fashioned, but they still have the warmth, the feel, and the personality. And it's just, is it to you? It is to me kind of more of an enjoyable dialogue, listening and responding in live, real time. Anyway.
Only on the radio.
Yeah, on the radio.
In real
yeah.
life.
No, I don't like it. Yeah, exactly. It's entertainment.
Yeah.
That's entertainment. And so this is what the radio show is. It's partly information, partly entertainment. If we didn't entertain, you wouldn't listen. So you got to have a dash of entertainment, humor, to get the educational process flowing, and then get people to listen, grow the audience. And boy, I'm really on a rant, aren't I? I'm going to shut up and turn the mic over to Nancy Stewart, who is my co-host, and she's co-founder of the show, and she is a very, very strong...
I got the giggles.
Yeah, and she's got the giggles, and she's a very strong supporter of our female listeners. And about half of them out there are listening. We want half of them to call or contact us in some way, and Nancy will incentivize you right now. Go ahead.
Definitely. Hey, I have something to say about caffeine, though. Boy, I'll tell you what. You had some caffeine this morning, but I've been drinking caffeine since 2:30 this morning, and it has an adverse effect on me. Just the opposite of what it has on you. As a matter of fact, I'm about to doze off. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, a little humor added to that.
That was a real knee slapper.
You got that right, Toots. I remember bringing Stu in. He said earlier that he was just a baby.
All right.
I remember pushing him into the studio in a stroller.
Well, you picked me up. I remember you picking me up and putting in the seat.
Yeah, we had
We're
a car
kidding,
seat for
guys.
him and everything. He's just a baby.
I was in my 40s.
Yeah, they're not kidding. They did that last week.
Okay, folks, you're in for a fantastic show right here for the next 2 hours, and I want to thank everybody for joining us. And to repeat that number, it's 877-960-9960, or you can text us at 772-497-6530. And I have something special for the ladies. That's $50 for the first 2 new lady callers. I'd like for you to give us a call and share your car purchasing or servicing experience, and let us know if it was, shall we say, worry-free. Share it all with us. And $50 for the first 2 new lady callers. And today, folks, we can use $50. We are going to go to our first female caller, and her name is Tamara, and she is calling us from Palm Springs. Good morning, Tamara, and welcome. You have just won yourself $50.
Wow, that's awesome.
It is, isn't it? That is awesome. And if you email me your contact information, I'll get that check out to you this afternoon.
Wow, thanks, guys. That's awesome. But okay, so it's Tamara, not Tamara. It's like Tampa, but with an R instead of a P.
All right.
And you guys kind of know me from the ISC. And anyway, I bought a car, and I drove it off the lot on a test drive, and I don't know, I just needed a car, because I was in an accident. And it was a few months ago, and I'm not super duper happy with the car I bought. However, I put, a big chunk down. I put $15,000 down on it, and then I refinanced the other half. So what are my options since I'm only 2 months into it? Can I go back to the dealer and say, I know I'm past my 7-day grace period. It's been a couple of months, but I'm just not super excited with this vehicle. Or do I have to take such a big loss and go find something else? Or what are my options here? Because, I mean, the car's okay. It's just
Yeah.
You know that feeling where you love that car? Oh my gosh, I miss my Audi. I loved my Audi.
Yeah.
And this car, I don't have that. Oh my God, I love my car, and I'm in my car so much more now than I ever was before.
Mm-hmm.
I want to have that feeling. I love my car. You know that feeling?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
It's intrinsic.
Yeah, that wow feeling.
Yeah, like the Tesla wow that you guys are having. I want that.
Would you like me to answer, Sarah?
Tamara.
Pamela?
Tamara. It's
Pamela.
Tamara.
Pamela.
Tamara.
Tamra.
Yep.
Tamra. Sadly to say, you are stuck with a car. And I'm giving you the cold reality. I know it's not what you want to hear, but there's nothing worse than buying a newer, even a used car. A used car is a little bit less worse. But there's nothing like nothing worse than buying a car and making a mistake after just a couple of months or even a few weeks. The car depreciates considerably. The dealer probably made a big profit when he sold you the car, bigger than normal because of the situation with the microchips and the high demand, low supply. Dealers are making probably 50% more profit than they ever made before. And to ask them to refund your money is asking too much of a dealer today. Now the problem is they won't tell you that. They might tell you, oh sure, we can get you another car, but one way or the other, they're going to preserve their profit that they made on the first car. So that means they're going to have to compensate themselves for the depreciation of that car that you now have in your court. That's your depreciation. When they take it back in, it'll become their depreciation. And they also have to compensate themselves for the huge profit. They probably made thousands of dollars when they sold you the car, and the car could well have depreciated thousands of dollars already because that happens, initial depreciation. The best thing economically for you to do would be to keep the car. The longer you keep it, the better your conditions will be when you do trade it in for another car. The value of the car will smooth out. The depreciation will not be as sharp. You'll build a little equity. But to trade right now would be a big financial burden. And if you want to go ahead, I can give you some advice on what you might do, but it's still going to be painful economically. Does that answer your question?
Well, what is your advice that you think I should do then?
Well, you could if you really don't you could try selling the car on your own. I mean, used car prices are super high, so now you probably wouldn't be hurt as much as you would have been if you had the same situation a year ago. So you could sell it on your own, and you're still probably going to take somewhat of a depreciation hit, or you could sell it to that dealer or another dealer or CarMax and see if somebody would give you enough money for it. Did you finance or you pay cash?
You read my mind. Did you finance it?
It was 50-50. I put 50% of the
so
car
you have
value down,
so
and
you
then I financed 50%.
Okay, so then you could sell the car, and you're not going to worry about a big payoff to a bank or anything like that. So if you're willing to take
no.
yeah.
I mean, I could probably even pay the car off right now, but then I'm stuck with a car I still don't really care about.
Well, if you could sell the car, do you have any other cars to drive? It'd be nice if you could sell the car now and then wait a few months to buy the replacement car, because prices should be coming down in the near future. But right now they're pretty high.
Prices coming down on new cars?
Yeah, and usually all cars prices will be coming down, in the upcoming months. So if you sold your car, you're going to lose some on depreciation. You've driven it for a couple of months, so you had use of the car. But really, the only option is to keep the car or sell the car.
Tamara, it'll be easy to get prices. That's the only good news I can give you today. If you want to sell the car, dealers are aggressively buying, as are a lot of independent companies. And if you got a pencil handy and you can write down, I will give you these that you can contact online. CarMax.com. CarMax buys cars. You get a price from CarMax. You might have to take your car in. You will to get a firm price. And they will buy it, pay cash. You don't have to buy another car. There's a company called Carvana, CARAVANA.com, online. They buy cars. There's a company called
Vroom.
Varoom. V is in Victor, like you're an engine revving. Varoom, VAROOM.
No R, just VROOM.
VROOM. What did I say?
No, A-V-R.
VAROOM. Varoom.com. Varoom. And then you've got WeBuyAnyCar.com. That's easy to remember. WeBuyAnyCar.com. Now there's 4 right there that you can, in a few minutes, you can get online, and they will give you prices on your car. And then you have to maybe spend more time to take it to a Audi dealer, used car department, or to advertise it yourself. It'll be great if you got an acceptable price online. That way you don't have to go through all the trouble and aggravation. And when you sell a car yourself, you're dealing with a lot of characters, you're dealing with con artists, you're dealing with people that want to buy the car but they don't have any money, they're going to want you to finance it for them. So if you sell the car one-on-one, unless you have a good contact, a friend, a relative that you trust and know that'll buy the car, you're better off to go to a third party. And then the market is at an all-time high, as Stu said. So you should be able to get more today for that Audi than you will 2 or 3 months from now.
Oh no, I don't have my Audi. I love my Audi.
Oh, okay.
You want to feel like you have your Audi.
Right, there you go, Nancy. You know my heart.
Hey, is your name pronounced Tamara?
No, it's Tamara. It's just like Tampa, but with an R instead of a P.
I gotcha. I got a misspelling on my screen. Here's my 2 cents. In this volatile time that we are in, it's just best to stay in the car that you're in, as the guys shared with you. It's amazing the depreciation that happens when you drive off the lot, first of all. And as I said, in this volatile time that we're in, it's just best for you to hang on to your vehicle. And I wish you a whole lot of luck. And it's an unfortunate time. And as the guy said, CarMax, Carvana, Varoom, those are all great places to go. WeBuyCars.com, another place. So I hope that we helped you this morning. And
you gave me some options, so that I'm very grateful for.
Excuse me?
I said you gave me some options, so that I'm very grateful for.
Oh, well, we're grateful to you. And I hope you spread the word. Send me your email. Send me through my email your contact information, and I'll get that check out to you.
All right. Well, do you mind telling me what your email is?
Not at all. You can go to Earl on Cars and get that email address, or if you have a pen, you can jot down Nancy S. at estoyota.com.
estoyota.com?
That's correct. Nancy S. at estoyota.com.
Yeah, we own a car dealership, and this is not an infomercial, I hasten to add. We just happen to have a car dealership, but this is purely a consumer advocacy show.
Oh, yeah. I knew that.
Good.
She's a member of the International Sunrise Club.
And,
Right.
because we have a car dealership, it certainly helps us help all of you. It doesn't matter whether we had a Toyota dealership, a Chevy dealership, whatever.
Well, right.
With the experience of
Overall health education in the cars.
the everyday experience of people, consumers being taken advantage of, it certainly helps to educate us every day. And we enjoy your company, and I hope you spread the word to your friends that they too can win themselves $50. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful weekend.
That's a nice surprise. That's a nice surprise. I didn't know about that one.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
My friend. Yeah. Okay.
Enjoy
well,
that.
Thank you.
And I hope eventually, maybe October, November, December, you get back that wow feeling.
Yeah, and the only way that's going to happen is if I do get another vehicle. I don't. This one here's got stuff I just don't need. I don't need all these bells and whistles, and
this is true.
I don't know.
This is true.
I just don't need all that crap.
Yeah. On a smaller level, you can take a look at a microwave oven and you say to yourself, "Why did I buy all those bells and whistles? I'll never use them." So, a perfect example. Go for what you need.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for all your help.
You're
I
welcome.
really do appreciate it.
We hope to hear from you again. Have a wonderful weekend.
All right. Thanks, Nancy. Bye, Earl. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. See you, Tamara.
Bye, Tampa. Oh, I mean Tamara.
877-960-9960. Take advantage of youranonymousfeedback.com, and you can text us at 772-497-6530. I think we are going to take a look at some YouTubes.
Oh, we've got one from Casey who says, Earl, how come you bought the Tesla? Did you not consider buying the Toyota BZ4?
Well, I bought the Tesla because I'm a tech freak. I like fast cars. I like state-of-the-art anything. And I have to say that this car, this Tesla Plaid, is a quantum leap ahead of any other technology available on the highway. So, you know, I'm an old guy. I love fast cars, and I wanted to see what the fastest car in the world was like. So I've never had the opportunity to be able to buy the fastest car in the world, and this is a relatively reasonable price. It sounds crazy that $150,000 would be a reasonable price, but when you consider the Lamborghinis,
The next fastest car is probably $1 million.
yeah, and they have cars out there that are just crazy money. I'm the king of the road.
But I plan on getting a BZ when it's available, when it's easily available. So I'm only going to drive this Tesla until the Toyota, because I'm going to make this a Toyota commercial. The Tesla is no Toyota in terms of quality. It's no Honda. It's no. I mean, there's some issues there, but the technology is just mind blowing. So that's what we have.
Like so many other products out there, you forgive the foibles of a product when the product is so thrilling and overwhelmingly positive. Every product you buy has got pluses and minuses, and what Stu's referring to, this Tesla, the paint, the fit and finish, we call them in the industry, the paint, the door fit.
Just the little things.
Yeah, Nancy's door on the passenger door, two of the doors don't close well. You have to close it twice. I mean, here's a $150,000 car that you have to close the doors, slam the door to get it to stay tight. Now, I'll take it to Tesla, and they'll probably fix that. And there's some paint issues and other little things. But it's such an overwhelmingly technically amazing car that you forgive those little things.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to put on 10 pounds to close that door. I have a question for you. Would you agree or disagree that every second you are in the Tesla, it is an education. You're learning something new.
Yeah.
It has that many features.
Exactly.
Also, when you climb behind the in front of the yoke, would you say that you're completely comfortable opposed to the wheel?
Yeah, I think we talked about the Tesla enough. I mean, I understand that. Yeah, but I love the car. I enjoy the car. Very happy with the car.
Okay. Enough said. And you did receive your title, your certificate of title for your Tesla, and you're very happy.
Yes, I am. I've got, Rick's got a comment.
Just to play devil's advocate, I've noticed on a lot of new cars, when they are brand spanking new, up for the first month or two, when you close the doors, they don't always close easily the first time.
Yeah.
And I think it's because the door seals are so new and the vehicle is so airtight that when you close that door, that resulting air pressure doesn't want to let the door close all the way because they're so airtight.
You sound like a car salesman or a service advisor.
He's trying to help you.
Making excuses, because I can tell you that in my Lexus 500, LS 500, that I had before the Tesla, never had a problem. And I've owned a lot of cars in my quality cars that never had the problem. But when you do have the problem, that's what we used to tell them. That's
right.
When I was a Pontiac dealer, they'd come in and say, well, the door won't close. Well, that's because it's new and tight, and it's really a positive attribute that you can't close the door, because that means it's really airtight. Let me tell you something. You can build a car that's totally airtight that you can close the doors easily on.
But your Lexus, one door weighed as much as the Tesla.
Well, I'm not.
Your doors.
There are two different types of cars. I totally agree
The
with you.
Tesla door closed easily because there's a big hole in it, and it didn't have any.
Can we stop talking about the Tesla?
Rick,
Please, I'm begging you.
Rick,
This
to
is
your
a
car
Earl on
salesman.
cars. We're trying to educate people here.
We're
Rick,
talking about
to
cars.
your car salesman, Spieg or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
So I ask you, why does Ben Rosenberger have to come in and close my
Now
door,
we're
come
talking
into
about
my
football.
home?
Now we're talking
and
about
he
football.
has to close my door
Yeah.
because I stand from one side of the garage to the other and I give it the old college try and I can't get the door closed.
We have a YouTube over here. Rick, let's hear
We're
your
out of
YouTube.
control.
Yeah, actually, just the next one I have is a shout out
Excuse me,
to.
we have a call.
Oh, good.
Okay, Marty.
Real call.
Thank you so much
Marty.
for holding.
Hi. Hi.
I hope you
Hi,
continue
Howard.
to listen. We've got a whole lot going on here. But Marty's calling us from West Palm Beach. Welcome.
Hi. I've got a couple points. I think last week a woman called you about car warranties or extended warranties.
Yep.
People don't realize, and I'm just saying people, I mean, some people do, some don't, that car dealers and warranty companies make a fortune off of warranty.
They sure do.
The odds of buying a warranty and using it are remote.
Exactly.
So when I go into the finance guy, and I've been buying cars now for, I'm going to say 50 years. I don't buy Teslas, but when I go in, I tell the finance guy, don't even bother giving me all the extras, because I don't buy the tire extra, I don't buy the extended warranty, I don't buy that if you lease a car and you get a scratch on it.
You're a
I don't
smart
buy any
guy.
warranty.
You're a smart guy,
Okay.
Marty.
Well, I'm a tough buyer.
Uh-huh.
But I get out of there as fast as I can.
Yeah.
And I feel most people that buy a warranty. Now, I don't keep a car 20 years or 10 years, and maybe if I did, maybe they would work out for me.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right, and that's a huge profit center. Extended service contracts, dealers call them, and warranties. They are a focal point. Most, I won't say most, but I would certainly say most larger car dealers own their own warranty companies. We own our own warranty company, and there's nothing more profitable than selling insurance, and that's all a warranty is. Extended contract, service contract, a rose is a rose is a rose. Extended service contract is an insurance policy. And just ask Warren Buffett if there's a lot of money in insurance. You always take in a whole lot more in premium than you pay out in claims. And my philosophy, and I think this is a good sound philosophy, is if you can afford to pay something out of pocket yourself, you're crazy. If you can afford to pay something out of pocket yourself, you're crazy to buy a warranty that's going to pay it for you. I mean, if you're paying the dealer $100 a month on that warranty policy you bought, take the $100 a month and put it in the bank or the stock market or buy bonds or save the money, and then if you have a repair, take it out of your account and sell the stock.
Right.
You come out ahead of the game.
Yeah, I don't know if people can multiply, but $1,200 a year for 3 years is $3,600.
Yeah.
That would be an extraordinary amount for warranty, by the way. Just saying.
Well,
more like probably 15 or 20.
It is an extraordinary amount, and dealers do charge extraordinary amounts for it.
Yeah.
There's some states, remember we're national, international, there's some states that have no cap on what you can charge. In fact, they don't even require you to to use a published figure. I haven't checked recently, but I used to be in California. When you went to the finance department in California, the finance manager could sell you a warranty, and he could sell you the same warranty for $1,000, $2,000, or $5,000, whatever he could get away with.
Or 500,
Yeah.
if they're trying to make a deal.
Now,
Yeah.
you know that company that advertises a lot for warranty
Yeah.
on TV,
Yeah.
they charge at least, the minimum is $100 a month.
Really?
So
Yeah.
people, I mean, if you look at their reviews, I don't know if you've had anybody coming into your dealership and try to use that warranty, but a lot of people have complained that when they have a problem, they can't even use it.
Exactly. Yeah. A lot of times they buy a powertrain warranty, which essentially is worthless, and they think they have a real warranty. They probably told them it was a bumper to bumper, which a powertrain warranty is something you practically never have to use. And in fact, a lot of dealers give them away free because it sounds good. Yeah. No, you're an educated consumer, Marty, and I appreciate the call because, are you on our vigilante list? We need vigilantes.
I'm not, but I guess I could be. One of these days I'll decide to do it.
I got a hat for you. I'll hold it up for the camera. I don't think you're streaming us, but if you'll sign up for a vigilante, I'll send you one of these hats. It's a free hat that we use to encourage educated consumers like yourself, Marty, and anybody else out there listening. See how good I look in that hat?
Yeah, Marty.
Yeah, I'm watching you on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Great. Hey, Marty, not only is it a benefit to us because we can't reach everybody, but it's a benefit to you, and you can help us, round up these dealers that are so dishonest, and you can help people in your community. And it's, like I said, a win-win situation. And if you have a moment, if you have the time, really, we need your help. And it is Vigilantes, earlsvigilantes.com. And it's real easy to sign up. And as Earl said, he can give you a hat. It's a really good-looking hat. Right, Stu?
It's beautiful. I had a little something to do with the design.
Yeah, he's a designer.
Point, if you got a second.
Absolutely, Marty.
One more point. I just wanted to tell Earl, my son-in-law bought a Tesla Y, and he said that the finish and everything is not good either.
Yeah, it's Elon Musk is he's a genius and he's a technological quantum leap ahead of everybody else, but he hasn't figured out how to get that right, and he will. I mean, eventually he will, but it's amazing what you can forgive when you have a product that's just so cool.
Right. Yeah, my son-in-law is bringing it in next week to have him fix a few problems.
Yeah, good.
Stay in touch with us, Marty. We'd love to hear from you for a number of reasons, whether you joined earlsvigilantes.com and, little information about the Tesla.
Okay. I'll keep calling you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marty.
All right. Have a good week.
You too, my friend.
Thank you. Have a great weekend. 877-960-9960, or you can text us at 772-497-6530. Okay, which way we going, guys?
That's like
Well, you guys have broken protocol because Anne Marie is supposed to get the first question of the show, and we stopped doing that last 2 weeks. So sorry, Anne Marie.
Yeah, very sorry, Anne Marie. We welcome you this morning and every Saturday morning.
Well, I don't know if you're going to be crazy about Emery's question, but I got to read it anyway. Emery says, "Good morning. Now that you've had a few weeks to get acquainted with your new Tesla, what are your favorite features on it so far? What are the features that you like the least and have had the hardest time adjusting to? Thanks."
Interestingly enough, and this is something I know I will adjust to, and Nancy has the same problem. I have a problem of driving my Tesla in the garage and getting out and going in the house without anything else. In other words, the car turns itself off, it locks itself, the lights go out, the doors lock, everything. All you do is you pull in, you get out of the car, and walk in the house. So I'm fumbling for my key till I leave my key, and it even has a charger. I always forget my iPhone and leave it in the car, but there's nothing serious. Nothing serious about it, really.
Yeah.
I've even gotten used to not using the brake. I use the accelerator and take my foot off the accelerator and it acts as a brake. My brakes, Rick will appreciate this. I don't think you're ever going to have to do a brake job. I mean, I just don't ever use the brakes. So,
Anne Marie, it is a learning experience without a doubt, and it's an amazing vehicle, and there's so many things to educate yourself with so that you can be safe on the road, because if you don't stay focused, yikes.
Okay. The next one comes to us from Robbie and Stuart, and it's for Rick. It says, "Good morning. We have a 2011 BMW X5 diesel, their big SUV. We bought it new, and it's just sat in our garage for about 2 years. I know the battery is dead. What else do we need to do to get it back running? What about the fuel?" And like I said, that's from Robbie and Stuart.
A BMW diesel, I wouldn't even try to crank it. I would have it towed either to a BMW dealer, or I would find a highly qualified diesel shop. I would have the vehicle towed there, explain to them that it has sat for 2 years so that they know what's going on, because diesel fuel is very thick fuel and it can have a tendency to not quite separate, but actually almost gel up. And that can plug up the diesel injectors, that can plug up the filters and the diesel pump.
I didn't know
I
that.
would definitely
What would happen
go right
if they
to,
did try to
repair
crank
shop
it?
with that.
What would happen if they tried to crank it?
Worst case scenario is that the fuel system basically would just plug right up, and they would have a very hard time getting that cleaned out. It could be very expensive.
Very interesting. I would have never guessed. I'm really glad. I hope he listened to that before he tries too hard. You can actually make it worse by trying to start it.
Yes, because you're pumping. It's going to try to pump that fuel. Hopefully, the fuel that's in the lines has not deteriorated to the point of plugging things up. It could have already caused that as well.
That wouldn't apply to any diesel, but just a diesel that has sat for a long time.
Yes.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, any vehicle that has sat for 2 years, the fuel system is going to be so degraded because of that, as well as the engine itself.
I got you.
The oil that has sat in there that has all drained down now, it's going to have a hard time building compression back. It's going to have a hard time getting its oil pressure back.
Yeah.
And there are things that mechanics can do, like actually some cars we can even mechanically spin the engine to get oil pressure up without letting it start.
Great information.
So that it gets a chance to get some oil pressure back before you start getting the abusive combustion in there that can cause damage.
And remember, you heard it here first
like
from
this.
a certified diagnostic master technician, Rick Kearney. I mean, I've been in the business for over 50 years. I did not know that.
I wasn't expecting that.
I learn from this guy every week. I mean, it's like I'm listening to the show because his stuff is gold.
Right, you're almost like an apprentice diagnostic master technician.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, we're in South Florida, so you have a lot of people with boats. When you have boats with 2-cycle engines where you have the gas and oil mixed together, the fuel on those, if it sits too long, can literally become the consistency of jelly. It turns to jello. It's napalm, basically.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So, it can be fun to play with,
I bet.
but it's not very good for the engine.
Rick, I think I hear or see a book coming from you, and it would be Rick's Repair Handbook.
Okay.
All right. Let's go over. We have actually a really good question from Bob. Bob says, "Good morning. Since extended warranties are not worth the extra cost, then why pay more for a certified vehicle?" That's a very interesting question.
I tell you, that's a great question.
It is.
Here's the reason I like that question so much. What I recommend you do is you find a vehicle that's certifiable, and it hasn't been certified yet.
Meaning, by the way, it's within the miles and the year restriction that allows it to be certified.
Yeah, exactly. So,
It's new enough.
and then you'll find that this car can go through the certified check, which certified cars have to go through. The part about the certified car that you don't want to have to pay for is the warranty that is baked into the certification.
Yeah, actually, that's a brilliant concept. People like the certified cars because the impression that they go through, theoretically, they're going through a more rigorous inspection. You could offer to pay a little bit more for the enhanced inspection, but typically it's about $500. They say it comes with the warranty. It's applied to the cost of the car, so it's around $500 for that powertrain warranty. That gets everybody excited about the certified cars.
When you see these advertised, one of the reasons people love certified cars is the manufacturers will even advertise them.
Yeah,
Now,
because that warranty comes from the manufacturer.
And you would wonder, why would a manufacturer of new cars want you to buy used cars? Because they sell the warranties to the dealer to allow the dealer to use their name. So when you see Honda certified used car, Honda's making a profit when you buy that on the warranty.
Yeah.
If you don't buy the warranty, they don't make a profit, but you can still buy the car, just don't buy the warranty.
To give you an example, we pay the service department roughly about $90 to check out a car. Unless there's anything wrong with it, just inspecting the car.
Yeah.
It's double that for the certification. So you could spend, say, $180 to get a certified car that's checked out extensively, but don't pay the extra $500 for the warranty. Bob, that's a great question. Rick's got a point.
Well, some of the differences also between the two inspections, and these are things that you can have if you get just a regular lower level inspection, you can have these things addressed at the time.
Yeah.
The tires have to have a minimum tread
5/30
depth
second.
of 5 to 6/32 of an inch,
Right.
which is about half their life, plus the brand and model of the tire.
Yeah.
In other words, all 4 tires have to be exactly the same
Right.
brand and model.
Well, that's the point. So you could, as a customer, you could say, I want this car to meet certification specifications.
Yep.
I'm not interested in the warranty. Does it cost me a little extra to pay for the enhanced inspection? And you might pay more because they have to replace tires to make sure they're the right brand and the right tread depth. But,
Exactly.
Yeah.
The brakes also have to be a higher level
Yeah.
remaining of the brakes. And there can be no aftermarket add-ons to the car,
Right.
such as like a tow hitch, unless it's a factory installed tow hitch. Toppers on trucks are generally removed.
Yeah, right. But we
Any
understand.
aftermarket lights and radios,
Oh yeah, I'm
equipment
saying.
like that.
Yeah,
So-
the point Bob's trying to get is
Yeah.
you could build a certified vehicle without paying for the warranty.
Absolutely.
Just meet all the specs that you just described.
Now, now let me wrap that up with something that might be even more important than anything we talked about. In my experience in all these years, my guess is that in many cases, the certified cars that you buy, that the technician that went over the checklist did not really even check the car very well. And these are paid on commission. Remember, everybody in the car dealership is paid on commission. So Rick gets a commission when he certifies a car. Any Honda dealer's technician or Audi dealer technician, they get a certification. They have a long checklist. When they check the squares on the list and they turn it in, they get paid. How thoroughly do they check the car? You have to ask yourself that question. That means when you're dealing with a dealer that you don't know, be very skeptical. Still take that car to your own independent mechanic. I would rather pay an independent mechanic $150 than take the word of the guy that's selling me the car's mechanic and he says the car is certified. It might be certified, but what if he didn't really check it? What if he didn't check the brakes? What if he didn't check the tire tread? Do you know that he did? If you ask,
Well, they have a 1 year. They do have it for the certified. It's a 1 year, and it comes from Toyota and Honda and all that. They do for anything they missed. It's 100%. It is a bumper-to-bumper warranty for a year.
If you know about it.
If you know about it.
Yeah, and certain things, how would you ever know? So after a year, I mean. Anyway, there you go. I never thought about this. I know we're beating this certified thing to death, but here's something that just came to me. I would ask to see the certified checklist on a car, and I would do my best to identify those items that were checked and be specific about it. I would then even consider taking that checklist to my own mechanic and saying, can you verify this? And is the tire tread right? Are all these things that were supposed to be checked, can you tell me if they were checked?
Absolutely.
And that way you have the security of a certified car without paying all the money.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on.
I'm going to add something to that. Ladies and gentlemen, knowledge is power. Certified vehicle can be very misleading. And my favorite question about warranties is, what doesn't it cover? We're going to go back to the phones, and thank you so much for your patience, John. John's a regular caller from Palm City. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
If you own the car and it was flood car, it was totaled by your insurance company. Quite common with the storms that we've had recently. Your insurance company hopefully paid you the right amount of money, but it was completely totaled and it's no longer usable. People ask the question, where did that car go? Well, if you owned it, if it had a Liberty Insurance or Allstate exclusively, it went to a firm called Copart. That's a public corporation traded on the stock exchange. I have no idea how the stock is doing, but they own nationwide 160 junkyards, 203 auction facilities, and you can bid on the cars. They get pictures are on that Copart website. And if you bid on it, it gets sold to the highest bidder, and you run your own. You get full title, and 80% of them are actually wrecks. The others are abandoned cars or cars that supposedly totaled from the floods.
John, spell that, would you
People
please?
can buy 'em.
Can you spell the name of that company?
Copart, Copart,
Okay.
and it's traded on the stock exchange. I think it's NASDAQ. I think it's around $150 a share now. They tell me it's doing, I don't follow the stock, so they tell me it's doing pretty well. But they are exclusive carriers. It goes to them from Liberty and Allstate and many other insurance companies, body shops included, cars that were wrecked, and they're nationwide, and they have 203 auction facilities, and you get the full titles when you bid on them. But here's the danger. Now with the shortage of used cars, I'm sure many dealers, not dealers, are people buying and fixing them up and reselling them. So again, as Rick says, if you're buying any automobile that's used, you do your homework, pay a guy extra to go over the car with a fine-tooth comb. Whatever they charge, it's well worth it because of what's going on with the shortage of cars and people buying some of these cars and fixing them up and reselling them.
Wow.
So that's just a caution.
Great
Keep an
information.
eye
I
on
did
this
not know
company.
that. I did not know that.
Yes. Well, Rick will probably tell you if there's a car in your shop that gets totaled, from an accident, chances are that this Copart company will buy that car from the insurance company.
Well, and I could buy that car by being the high bidder, and then I could take it to Mississippi or New Jersey and get a fresh title, and then I could take it to Florida and put it on my used car lot and sell somebody it was a beautiful car, and he's going to love on it and charge them all the money. Interesting. It's amazing how these glitches in our system exist like this. Thank you so much for that information, John.
Well, Rick's the good word. Do your homework before.
Yeah.
Get somebody to check your car out.
Absolutely. Wow. Great information.
One other fast thing, too. I don't know what everybody was sleeping. One of the most quality cars that people has owned in the past, old-timers like myself, the doors didn't close. What was the car? The Volkswagen Beetle. It was made so good and so tight that unless you had a window partially open to something, when you closed the door, it was like a safe door. It was built so good that it was so tight that sometimes you had to slam the door a couple of times. And it was nothing to do with anything being misaligned. It was just because that car was so good and so tight.
Well,
you remember those days?
Yeah, the other side was that if you had a Beetle, if you drove it into the water, it would float.
Yes.
They were literally watertight.
At least that's what the Volkswagen salesman told us, right?
Right, exactly. Don't try it.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I'm looking for the shopping report.
Thanks, John.
Yeah,
We look forward to hearing
John's
from you.
absolutely correct on that. When Alan Napier was still coming around on the show with us, he spoke of Copart many times, that you could go on there and I even looked on it a few times to look and see if there's any cars that I might be interested in getting hold of, but they just looked like they were way too far messed up.
Well, why would you want to buy one of those? Well, I mean, if you got a car that's been totaled, other than parts, what would you do with it?
I was looking for parts.
Oh, parts.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Rick,
Unless you're a crook.
Nope. Not me.
have you spoken to a lot of your friends or customers, whatever, about flood cars? Has that topic come up with the conditions that have prevailed?
Yeah, we talk
recently?
about them all the time.
Yeah. I had a question asked of me this past week, and I really didn't know how to answer it, but I'm thinking now that you do. And the young lady wanted to know how she could get rid of a musty smell from her air conditioner. And I'll give you a heads up, she's from New York.
Best advice is start right off with damp rid in the car. Get a couple big containers of damp rid, just put them in the car and close the windows up, and it will get all the moisture out of the car. Damp rid is actually a product designed to absorb moisture. It's a calcium citrate that its whole intent is to absorb moisture in moist areas of your house. So it works beautiful in the car. If your cell phone gets dropped in a puddle, put it in a container with some damp rid in there and seal it airtight. It's the best stuff in the world for absorbing moisture.
Yeah,
Do you
it
have
has
to
a
get
lot
the
of
damper
uses.
inside of the package, or can you get the granules
You
itself?
can get the
You can
granules.
get the granules themselves.
It's like a bucket.
Even
It
in a
comes
bucket.
in.
Yeah.
It comes in so many forms now, and it's an unbelievable product that I believe in. We've been subjected to a flood in our
Yep.
home recently, and I have damper. Well, I had a couple of cases of it anyway,
Oh, yeah,
so
it's-
I'm using it everywhere.
It's inexpensive. It works perfectly, and it just does the job. But keep that in the car for a while with the windows up. Anytime you park the car, so that it gets a chance to get the moisture out of there first. And without moisture, that will kill any mold or mildew that's
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah.
Then you can worry about evaluating from there to see if you need to go any further.
Great advice, Rick. Jennifer, I hope you're listening. Our number here is 877-960-9960, and you can text us, of course, at 772-497-6530. I think we're going to stick with Rick. He's got some more information to share with us.
We've got a post from Donovan.
Oh,
Okay.
hi, Donovan.
Let's see. He starts here with, I don't think the BZ4 will ever be released. Toyota is so far behind in the EV space, they're fighting it at every step. Fighting in Congress to get the government to not pass laws pushing EVs. Their announced EV investment from 2 weeks ago is 1/3 of what others are investing and taking twice as long. Personally, I think they're waiting too long, and they know it, so an option for them is to fight it. EVs are all about the batteries and securing supply now. Look at Honda. They are so far behind they had to partner with GM and use their entire underpinning because they have no ability to do this.
Well, I don't disagree with that. I know that, Toyota is asking us to lobby on their behalf against, there's a provision in the infrastructure bill that would give a big tax credit for EV buyers, but only for vehicles made at plants that have union representation. And Toyota's plants don't have that, so they're arguing it puts them at a disadvantage.
That's a valid reason to argue. I mean, why? That sounds political. I mean, you've got politicians that want to cater to the union, and therefore they penalize someone that's not unionized. Business is not unionized because the workers choose not to be unionized, and what's wrong about that?
Right. So, but to the other point is, Toyota took a very cautious approach, and they were developing, and they still are, the hydrogen fuel cell, and but they really pushed. They became the king of hybrids with the Prius, and maybe that went to their head, but yeah, they're not doing the effort the other manufacturers are, and I think they're scrambling to catch up. They probably will catch up, but like you said, or we talked about last week, they're very well capitalized. They got a ton of money, and they can get back into the game. I'm just disappointed because I'm a geek. So is Earl. We're nerds. We like, we like high tech things, and it's disappointing that the one we're associated with is a little bit slow to get to it. But he's right on the money. Donovan's he's very, very, very observant.
Yeah, Donovan, thank you so much for joining us every Saturday morning with all your input. I'm going to interrupt Rick, and we're going to go back to the phones. Dawn is calling us from Palm Beach Gardens. Good morning, Dawn.
Good morning. I was going to ask Earl, you had your car now, 3 weeks?
Yes.
How do you like it?
Well,
part of your show, so.
I hear people ask me how I feel. I like it when they ask me how I feel when I drive it. I feel like I was 17 years old, and I was driving my father's 1957 Bonneville Pontiac fuel-injected convertible, and I still get heart palpitations when I think about that car. I was 17 years old, and the girls loved me because I had that car on the weekends. My father let me borrow it, and it was the fastest car on the road at the time. Fuel injected. That was the first fuel injected car General Motors, I think, just about anybody built, and there was only one per dealer, one offered per Pontiac dealer. So it's a collector's item today. But when I get in that Tesla Plaid, I feel like I'm 17 again.
Yeah, and it's about 3 times as fast as that car you just
Exactly.
Other reason I called is how spoiled this generation is. I mean, what's the normal floor plan interest rate for a dealer nowadays?
We talk about that. I've
very
got my company controller is the only one that's been around as long as I have. In fact, she's been around longer than I have. And we talk about our interest rates today. We're paying about 2%. Our floor plan bill is about $10,000 a month.
Typically 60.
Yeah, and it could be as high as
80.
back in the day when we had real high interest rates. I was paying GMAC, General Motors Acceptance Corporation, to a floor plan to finance my Pontiacs on my lot. I was paying them 21%.
I was going to say exactly that because I had a small used car lot, probably 30 cars in '84.
Yeah.
And I was paying 21% to my local bank.
Wow.
And I still managed to make some money. I don't know how, but I did. But my mortgage on my house was 17%, and they're whining today about 4%.
Right.
Yeah.
Good point.
Good point.
Anyway, just a little bit of humor there. How lucky we are today. That's going good. So, anyway, nice talking to you.
Thank you, Don. It's good. Good
Glad
to.
you like your car.
I love the calling because only old guys like you and me remember those days. You talk to a kid today, they have no idea how things have changed. And one of the good things is what you just described. I love these low interest rates, and people don't know what high ones are unless they were there and had to pay that $100,000 floor plan check to the bank every month. Call again, please, Don.
Thank you so much, Don. Give us a call again.
Rick's
Stu?
got the comment.
All right, we got.
Oh,
Okay, go ahead, Rick.
I was just going to say, people talk about the kids today and their issues with cars, and one of the things we hear a lot about are that kids today don't drive stick shift. Believe it or not, the new Ford Bronco that has been wildly popular, something in the neighborhood of 30 to 40% of those are coming right out of the factory with stick shifts, and they're selling like hotcakes.
I didn't know that. 30
So
to
there
40%.
a lot of them. So it's amazing. The stick shift, Ford may bring it back.
That's because the old people are driving it, but kids don't know.
That could be.
Kids don't know how to drive a stick shift, and it also makes no sense because a good automatic transmission is much faster than any stick shift. You can't shift a car for the quarter mile or 0 to 60 as fast as an automatic, and with electric car, you've got the ultimate transmission. You've got the ultimate. There is no transmission, so you have a continuous acceleration. So not only are normal automatic transmissions obsolete with the electric car, but stick shifts are dinosaurs.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I just thought it was interesting, though, to
Well, good
hear
luck
that,
to Ford.
read
Let's
that.
see how they sell. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and what's amazing is that I find it interesting that it really interests the ladies. I mean, I was on a website this past week, and you can actually buy a shirt. It says, for ladies, yes, I can drive a stick shift. And it's just something that has come back.
Yep.
And
It's
there's
starting to a
an
little.
attraction. I don't know why, where, how, but it is.
Brings out the caveman in the guys.
What about the women? I mean, the women who are so attracted to, I mean, that's how I grew up, a stick shift. Okay, digress. We're going to go back to the phones where we're going to talk to Bill from West Palm Beach. Good morning, Bill.
Hey, guys. Good morning. Well, two quick things. The carport, there's one on Belvedere by the fairgrounds.
Yes, there is.
Has the laws changed regarding buy here, pay here lots?
I don't think so. Are you aware of any changes in the laws that affect buy here payers?
I don't think so. This is probably not related, but the thing is taking off big time for companies now with buy now, pay later, and it's enabling companies to get around the truth in lending laws and the interest rate restrictions by saying we're not charging you any interest, so you buy this product and you pay me back later. That's the whole essence of buy here, pay here, low payments. So maybe some some guy came up with a devious idea, well, to buy here, pay here. And he stopped saying buy here, pay here. He just said buy now, pay later. And then he just raises the price of the car and pretends like it's not interest. But I don't know whether that's happening or not. I'm not aware of anything else.
Okay. Back in the day, I ran one for a buddy of mine. And come Friday night, you missed the payment, out came the hook. And we sold it back to you again.
Yeah. I had one too, called Stewart Select Cars. Buy here, pay here, and we repoed our cars and hosed everybody on the interest. And
you were doing that before they came out with the GPS car immobilizers that buy here, pay here, used later, where they can actually disable your car if you don't make your payment. You can't
we had
start
a great big guy, he's about 6'6", and wore a suit and
cowboy hat.
And he would go out and repo the cars. We never knew how he was able to do so well, but
he had a big nickel-plated 44 Magnum on his hip.
We don't want to talk about
back
that.
in the day,
Yep. Yeah. Not that far back.
No.
When you sold the Pontiac dealer to Schumacher,
Yes. I sold the
I
front.
was part of the crew that disassembled your shop.
Is that right? Wow, I'll be darned.
Whoa.
Yeah, I sold the building to a real estate guy who turned them into townhomes, or tore it down and then built townhomes there. And I sold the franchise to Chuck Schumacher. And he wasn't very happy about that because Pontiac folded a few years later. And I kid him about it every now and then. Timing is everything.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. But the 09 Scion that we bought from you guys at the beginning of 2011 it had 2 stickers on it. One was certified, which they did at the time that we were buying it. And there was another sticker on it. I guess it was just one of that you checked it out, used car stickers.
Yeah, we at our dealership we have a certified that we do on all of our cars too, and you can either buy. You don't have to buy the warranty. We have the certified check we call it the gold check. Yeah.
Yeah, we still have it. We love it. The only issue that we have with that car is that when it rains and my wife turns the wipers on, the inside of the windshield gets foggy.
That happens on a lot of cars. It bothers me. What causes that? What's that, Rick? I've had it happen on and off with cars. It seems to depend on the atmospheric conditions or something.
It's the temperature of the windshield getting the moisture on the inside. You can try anti-fog sprays, cleaners with anti-fog capabilities, and clean the windshield well with it, but you got to reapply it about every couple months.
So it's on the inside, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So you do the inside with anti-fog. I'll give that a try. It happens to me right now in my Tesla. Yeah.
Interesting.
I'll give it a try too. Well, yours guys are a wealth of information, and it's good talking about the old times. And have a good day.
Thank you, Bill. Call again.
Yeah, Bill. Thanks.
Us old guys got to stick together.
Thanks so much, Bill. We look forward to hearing from you. 877-960-9960, or you can text us at 772-497-6530. Don't forget about Earl's Vigilantes. If you consider yourself somewhat of a car expert, you don't have to be able to take an engine apart, but you'd be helping us to help your community and so many others. Earl's holding up his famous Earl's Vigilantes.
Free hat.
And it's free whenever you join Earl's Vigilantes. The design by Stu Stewart, and it is quite nice. Also, with as many seniors we have going to the internet, they too need a little bit of help to maneuver their way around, and you can join that cause also and become a volunteer and help them and help us. That's EarlOnCars.com, where you can get all that information. And ladies, I have $50 for one more female caller, and you still have time to get that call in. So $50 for the second new female caller. 877-960-9960. And ladies, let me ask you this: with prices, I'm going to say expected to sort of stabilize, say in the fall, because of this computer chip shortage and so many other things that are going on right now with limited inventory. Is that a choice for you? Can you wait? If you can answer that question, give us a call and let us know. And at the same time, you can win yourself $50. 877-960-9960. And I think we're going to take it back to Stu.
Yeah, we got a bunch of text here.
Well, I found the pen in my rocket book.
Oh, very good.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But where's your rocket?
Is that without the hound dog? Is that without your hound dog?
Yes, it is, yes.
All right, we have a text from Joe in Cleveland. Joe says, can you trickle charge a hybrid automobile? Or is there a special trickle charger to charge the main battery system? Looking at you, Rick.
You can trickle charge the 12-volt battery, but not the hybrid battery.
We don't exactly, but you can charge a hybrid battery. You do it one cell at a time. That's not in the factory recommended list of work, but am I correct?
There is actually equipment now at dealerships, most of them, to recharge the hybrid battery if it need be. However, it's a very time-consuming and expensive process.
Yeah.
And if you were trying to do it the shade tree method, which I actually had to do that once about 10 years ago, it took a whole lot longer, and it was an extremely expensive thing because I had to disassemble it and literally charge each individual cell manually.
You used to do that for some customers back in the day when the Prius first came out and the hybrids first came out.
Yeah, we had to do it once.
Oh, once?
That was only the one time. Yeah. And then they've actually now come out with it's an extremely large toolbox with all the equipment in it to charge up each of the different systems. But so far, we haven't actually had to use that.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
All right, next text comes to us from, I don't have a name on it, but we're going to get it to it after this caller.
Sorry, Sue. We have a lot of callers today. We have Wendy calling, and she's calling us from Wellington. And she's called before, but she enjoys the show, so here she is. Good morning, Wendy. Welcome back.
Good morning, Nancy. Thank you. We do enjoy your show. My husband and I listen to it every Saturday morning.
Thank you.
My question, Nancy, is I don't wash my own car anymore. I take it to a machine car wash, and as much as I try to line up the tires properly, sometimes they get bumped a little bit. Does that affect the alignment of the car at all?
There is a potential that it could affect the alignment if you get in there really twisted, and when the car is trying to drive against those metal rails, if the wheels are twisted too much. So it's something you'd want to be careful of. Try to get them as straight as possible before you go into that car wash.
If they're at a little bit of an angle, the rails will straighten the wheels. But if it's just a small amount, like just a few degrees here and there, it's not going to really hurt the alignment. Trust me, I know, because every time I try and drive a vehicle through our car wash, I panic because I think I'm going to ruin the car. And so I have the same feeling you do. I get up there, I'm like, I feel it rubbing on the rails. But so far, I haven't messed it up. But just trying to go there, like Rick said, as straight as possible.
Yeah, and go slow and easy. So if you start to feel it binding a whole lot, stop and back up.
Yeah, great advice.
That could be a real profit center for a car dealership. You take the customer cars, you go to the car wash, knock it out of alignment, and tell them they need alignment, and sell them in alignment.
You still need to work on that recovery.
Exactly.
See, look how mine goes.
I'm telling you. Did we answer your question, Wendy?
Yeah, that's very reassuring. Thank you.
Oh, you're quite welcome. It was great hearing from you.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you. Have a great weekend.
So we could use that idea in our 20 group if we were still active.
Yeah.
And we have, just for you folks out there, car dealers are, most everybody in the car dealers, new car dealers, belong to something called the 20 group. They're a group of dealers from all over the country. You compare financial statements. You get together every 3 months or 4 months, and you compare ideas. And they have something called super idea time, and the car dealers come up with ways to screw the customer and make a lot of money, and the guy that has the most devious, profitable idea wins, like 10 grand, 5,000, big money. I mean,
personally, yeah.
Super idea time.
That's why we never win.
So if I were still evil in the 20 group, I'd probably use that idea. Say, you all got a car wash, take the customer's car, run it through the car wash in an incorrect manner, and knock it out of alignment, then you could go ahead and charge it for an alignment.
You know how many people that information reached just now?
Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
I just I remember when we tried to use, when we dropped the dealer fee, we tried to use that as our super idea time.
And we lost.
Well, we presented the numbers that said that we did lose immediately some profitability in the first few months, but then we recouped it in volume, and then our business was never better, and we thought we had found the holy grail. And they basically laughed us out of the competition.
Of course.
You can't get rid of a dealer fee.
Boy, I'll tell you what, when I think back at the dealer fee and getting rid of it, wow, coup d'etat. I'm telling you, boy, oh boy, oh boy, nobody agreed. But the big guy here knew what he was doing. I digress. Back to Stu.
That's me. We have a text here, and there's no name on it. It says, "Good morning. Very pleased with the Highlander that I bought at Earl Stewart. Having a stop-start battery that is 2.5 years old, I wish to know how long do they normally last before replacing." That's the stop-start battery.
If you check in your owner's manual for the factory recommended maintenance, there is actually a lifespan when the factory recommends that battery must be replaced, and one for the starter as well.
I didn't know that.
Yes, there is.
What is the recommended for a typical battery?
A normal 12-volt battery on a normal car that does not have stop-start, there is no recommended replacement. It's replaced when needed. And that would be just, when the battery does fail.
I missed that in the first part of your comment. Okay, so.
Now, for the other one, I'll have to look that up real quick.
That's okay. No, because I've never understood why batteries don't last longer than they do. To me, I think the answer is about 3 years. You should be starting worrying about your battery.
Yep.
And it doesn't make any sense to me that in the 21st century we should have to have replaced. A car battery should last longer than that, but that's another show. So.
And excuse me, Rick, can you tell me this as far as the battery is concerned? Is it still, shall we say, SOP for you to maintain your battery? That's the consumer. That they would bring the car in and have some maintenance done on it, excuse me, every 2 years, every 4 years, and it has a whole lot to do with the climate that you're in, and et cetera. So what do you say?
Well, most batteries now are maintenance free. A few of them still have the caps where we can add some water to it, and other than that, it's just cleaning the terminals once in a while to make sure they're kept clean, but there's really almost no maintenance for the batteries.
Thanks.
That's one of these things that the dealers are supposed to do, but often they don't do, and it's in their free check for 25 points, 8 points, 185 points. They always give you a free inspection, and the free inspection is just something they can use to find something wrong, so they can charge you for something. But one of those is usually check the battery, and they don't check the battery, but they should check the battery. They should do a load check, right, Rick? A load check to be sure your battery. And if you got some crud and corrosion going on, they should wipe it off. And
that happens depending upon what climate you're in, humidity.
I just
a
keep
lot of
a simple
factors.
spray bottle of water. So when I see that little bit of corrosion on the terminals, I blast it with the water. That removes that corrosion quick and simple, and then hit it with some air to dry it, and spray it down with a simple sticky spray that prevents the air from getting to it, and therefore prevents the oxidation that causes that corrosion.
That's something you could do at home. And I had no idea that the proper material to clean a battery is water. I didn't know that.
Best chemical in the world.
Yeah,
The
isn't it?
universal solvent.
Isn't it?
Most
It's
dangerous chemical in the world, but one of the best.
Yeah, well, that takes me back to the flood in our home.
Yep.
We're going to go to Henry, and he's calling from Jupiter. Good morning, Henry.
Good morning. You're talking about batteries. I'd like you to expound a little bit on these electric vehicles and batteries. You know, we buy a used car that has 80,000 miles on it. We know what to expect driving that used car. But when you buy a used electric vehicle, I mean, I understand the batteries could represent a third of the price of the car.
That's correct. Yeah, it's but again, like some of the other things, they're getting better and better and better. Battery technology is proceeding at warp speed. Tesla's investing billions of dollars in battery technology, and just about everybody else is. So, battery life in an electric vehicle will be a no-brainer, no problem. They're doing a lot better job in the hybrids and the all-electric vehicle battery research than they are on the old-fashioned one. As long as I can remember, the basic battery in an internal combustion engine lasts about 2 or 3 years. And they lasted 2 or 3 years 50 years ago, and they last 2 or 3 years today. To me, there's something wrong with this picture. Technology is failing us in the normal car battery, but not the electric batteries.
But there will come a time that it has to be changed, won't it?
Well, like you say, when that happens, you're going to want another car because you might as well pay for another car.
Like, isn't Tesla's working on a 1,000,000-mile battery? It'll last for 1,000,000 miles.
Yeah, they're working on it. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's something like that. It's going to be a regular internal combustion engine car would die probably around the same time.
And my Tesla Plaid has 3 batteries. Believe it or not, 3 electric batteries to power it.
Now, on your Prius, Prius has been out for a few years. Have you at the dealership had to change batteries on any of those?
Oh, yeah.
And if so, what might the cost be?
Yeah, they're warranted up to 200,000 miles or 6 years, or is it 8 years?
It's 8 years, 100,000 miles, and the newest ones now are 10 years, 100,000 miles.
Oh, I didn't. I thought it was 200,000 miles.
Nope, 100,000.
100,000.
And we have changed conservatively in our dealership a couple hundred.
Is that all? Oh, that's right, because they trade them in and they,
Yep.
yeah, oh, sure. Yeah.
If the consumer was footing the bill, give me an idea of what it would cost.
About $2,500.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not the end of the world.
No, it's,
Okay,
it's,
well,
it's less
that
than a new
answers
engine.
Okay, well, thank you.
You got it.
You're welcome, Henry. Give us a call again. 877-960-9960, or you can text us at 772-497-6530. I'll tell you, I have to talk about the Consumer Reports and October's edition that Earl and I just received. And there's some interesting articles in here, especially the car repair handbook. And it even goes into detail of how you yourself can fix, well, what's going on with your vehicle. Yeah, there's still some things that you can take care of. It's that was a surprise to me because everything has become so fix it yourself, kind of little play on words there. The maintenance on everything is just amazing. So pick up October's edition of the Consumer Reports and you'll find some information that may help you get through the day. And there it is right there.
Or go online, consumerreports.com.
Consumerreport.com or .org?
.org. CR.org. Well,
.org,
too.
okay.
Yep. CR too.
What happens if you put in .com?
I don't know.
Try it.
You go to a pornography site.
Everything's.com. Consumerreport.org, ladies and gentlemen, and I have $50 right here. Please, I'm begging you, give me a call. Ladies, $50. Just call to say hello. 877-960-9960. Now back to Stu.
Before I get to the next text from Joe, he has a follow-up question about the Trickle charger. Just want to correct the hybrid battery warranty. It's 10 years, 150,000 miles.
Yep.
That's for 2020 vehicles and newer. All right, so Joe followed up again. He says he just texted us about the trickle charging. He says he goes to Florida for 8 months, so he's not going to drive the car for 8 months. Will the main battery system discharge, or will he be okay sitting for 8 months?
That one's pushing it a little bit.
I'd say trickle charger on that one.
Well, the trickle charger will charge the 12-volt battery, but remember, the hybrid battery still could have an issue. I would really recommend if you can find a neighbor or someone nearby that can come over and actually even just start the car up and let it sit and run. That will recharge the hybrid battery, but taking it out for a short drive is best because that gives it a chance to exercise everything.
So it actually, I mean, so the damage could occur to the hybrid battery for sitting idle for so long.
Yes.
Okay. All right, Joe. So, yeah, if you could do that, because you can't trickle charge the hybrid, so maybe have a trusted person with a good driving record and insurance drive your car. All right. Next one. This question is for Rick. What is your opinion of the Optima battery? This is the battery show today. What is your opinion of the Optima battery? Are they worth the extra expense? Love your show, and that's from Everett.
Optima is an aftermarket battery that has that really colorful plastic case that
I like that.
They did like these curves on it, so it looks like it's a 8-pack of sodas or something, and they're bright, colorful, bright yellow usually, and they're supposedly rated for extremely high cold cranking amps. And in my opinion, I think they're kind of you're paying a whole lot for a lot of flash and pomp and circumstance.
That looks cool in the.
Oh, they look awesome in the car, but it's
okay.
I don't think you're really going to see as much of a shall we say, an improvement for the extra cost, because they are quite expensive.
Rick's trying to be nice. Don't buy the Optima battery. Okay, the next one. This is for Earl. You'll like this one. Earl, please help settle a debate between my husband and I. It concerns your blue shirt. My husband says you're a busy man who doesn't have time to think about putting an outfit together every morning. You like blue, so you wear blue. My theory is that you wear the blue shirt as a part of a well-thought-out marketing strategy. You use the concept of consistent, repetitive reinforcement to help establish your brand. Who's right?
As usual, the woman.
There you go.
I mean, you know the old saying, the lady's always right. Well, they are. I love it. You're right, Stu. I love the question because it has an interesting genesis. When television, I first started doing television commercials many, many years ago, the television was in its infancy, and there were certain colors that people wore on television that were better. If you had certain kind of shirts and things you couldn't wear because the TV cameras were not advanced enough.
You couldn't wear patterns because it would look strange. Yeah.
So the best pattern, the best color was blue, and so I did my first TV commercial with a blue shirt, and I kept doing them with blue shirts, and then pretty soon I became identified with my blue shirt, and now I have a closet full of blue shirts.
Yeah.
Because it's become, as you say, a brand identification.
Yeah. But not having to think about putting together an outfit is just a nice side effect of you having a closet full, actually a living room now full of blue shirts.
Well, I only wear the blue shirt when I'm doing a radio show or when I'm doing a public speaking or a TV commercial.
What we did, Earl and I were doing, events, and we were doing speaking events, and we were doing new owners events, and it got to be to the point where this was a brand that it just evolved. It happened. So for a whole lot of reasons, and then I had a blue dress, a blue sweater, and so here we are. And then we had some marketing people talk to us, and they thought, what a great idea. I don't know how it happened, but it did, and it's good. Stick with it. So that's your answer.
All right, this is from Pat and Dak. Oh, we have a call?
We do.
Hand went up.
We're going to go to Marty in Boynton. Thank you so much for your patience, Marty. It's been a busy morning.
Yeah, good morning. I had a couple questions for Rick. Can you hear me?
Yes. Loud and clear.
Okay, great. One of the questions that I could probably find in the book, but I thought maybe Rick would give me a better answer. We've got a 2021 Highlander that we bought from you guys, and it's a front-wheel drive, and we're going up to Pennsylvania in the end of November for Thanksgiving, and it's got a snow button on it. What does that do? Does that do anything for traction?
It's going to change the shift points of the transmission a little bit to try to give you a little more torque, and it'll basically try to help you improve traction in the snow.
All right. So it might be helpful somewhat.
Yes, it
The other
kind of
question
gives
is-
the computer a heads up that you know you're going to be in slippery conditions, so it's going to change the shift points, and it's going to watch the torque control a little better.
All right, great. And the other question is, we have a sunroof, and at highway speeds, we can hear air noise coming in. And I put my hand up there. We can't feel it at all. When I brought it in for our first service, I talked to the service tech, and he said, well, I have a Highlander, too, and it does the same thing. It's the nature of the beast. Is that right? Or...
Well, I tell you what, I hear that, and it just makes me madder than hell. I don't like it when we give customers that kind of an answer. And maybe this Highlander does make the noise, but they're not supposed to. And maybe they all do that, but they're not supposed to. So, Rick, you give the real answer.
Well, do you have one of the vents on the top of it? The little half vent?
No.
Okay. The quickest way that I determine if I feel that there's an issue that may be causing an air leak is I do what's called the dollar bill test. You take a dollar bill, you set it to where it's against the rubber seal, let the sunroof close, and same thing like with the windows, and just gently pull on it. You should feel a reasonable amount of tension when it comes out, and if it slips out real easy, then yeah, you have potential for an air leak there. If it comes out with a reasonable amount of tension, then it's sealing the way it should. Now, unfortunately, with a hole cut in the roof and the piece put back in with the rubber gasket, there are times that when you're driving, you will hear the wind going over it, and it's a noise created by the wind flow changing. That is normal. But if it's actually air leaking in the car, you hear a whistling noise of air coming into the car, now you've got a concern that is not normal. And that's why I do that dollar bill test. I'll check it in a whole bunch of areas around the sunroof to make sure that I'm feeling about equal tension on that bill all the way around as I pull it out. And if it feels normal, then we'll drive it and try to make sure, okay, is this just airflow going over the top of it, or is this actually an air leak into the car?
Marty, what does it sound like to you? Does it sound like an air leak, or does it just sound like the normal?
No, it's not whistling or anything. It's kind of a just an air noise, that I can hear. That's kind of irritating. If I open the window and close it again, then it's not as loud. It doesn't.
Well, to me, that says that's a leak. I mean, if the window is tight and it's not as loud, then it's a leak. If it's just the sound of the wind on all the windows all the time, it's an air noise outside, and you're always going to have that, but not a leak. But yeah, I guess nobody smokes anymore if you got any brains, but.
No, we don't.
But to me, a great test would be some sort of a vapor smoke kind of a thing that you could put near the window and see if it became, in motion, like it got sucked out of the car. But bring it back, and we'll have we'll have Rick check it for you. But that's if it's an air leak, it's not normal. If it's an air noise, I guess all cars have some air noise. My Tesla has an air noise, so.
Yeah, actually, the best way that we have to determine that is simply to have you drive a similar vehicle to see if the noise is the same.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's just, or maybe they both have an air leak. So, that's one of my pet peeves, Marty. By the way, you can tell because it's too easy to say they all do this, and and
I'm kind of surprised at the answer.
If they all do what they shouldn't do it.
We bought from you, and we're very thrilled with your dealership, and very happy. And we'll be back.
Thank you.
But I just wasn't too happy with that answer. But at the 10,000-mile service, we'll bring it back and mention it to them. And with that question, we'll be in Pennsylvania. If we're over 10,000 miles a little bit, does that affect our free oil change and
no, you don't. You don't have to observe the exact recommendation by the factory owner's manual, as long as you're within a couple of months, a few thousand miles The important thing is you have them all done. So if you have 3 inspections you should have got and they were done, all or 4, whatever they are.
I think he's talking about the Toyota Care maintenance. So
Toyota Care maintenance.
You have those coming to you whether or not you use them timely or not. So
yeah, just get them all done. They don't have to be that timely.
Wonderful. All right. Well, thank you very much for your answers. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Marty. Look forward to hearing from you again. Ladies and gentlemen, we are shutting down the phone lines, but you still have a chance to use our text line, and we are going to be coming up with our mystery shop of Infinity in Stewart, and we would like you to vote on that mystery shopping report. There's a lot of time and effort and talent put into this mystery shopping report. Agent Lightning does a phenomenal job week in and week out, and Stu does there's no words to define what he does. He has the Midas touch, you might say. When he sees that mystery shopping report, he's just puts together a talented array of words that describe each and every mystery shopping report. So stay tuned for that. And remember, 772-497-6530. That's where you can rate the mystery shopping report.
All right. We got some more text here before we get to that. This is from Pat in Dacula, Georgia. If you get into an accident and the frame is damaged to the point it affects the drivability of the car, can an alignment check show the wheels are in alignment, but the frame still causes the car to veer off center?
Well, quick answer. The frame that you refer to doesn't exist in the manner that a lot of people think. We have a unibody construction now, and certainly an accident can knock your car out of alignment. Frame damage is a dinosaur term. It isn't really what it used to be. Frame damage when you have the X-frame, Rick, or the
ladder
steel
frame.
rods that.
Well, frame damage is when you had a separate steel frame that the body was then bolted onto. Like a truck still has that.
Yeah, and you see these cars go down the road like lopsided.
Dog tracking.
Yeah, but the unibody is a different sort of thing. But basically, anytime a car gets into an accident, you should always check the alignment. And there can be a lot of reasons for it, but not the, frame damage isn't the kiss of death it used to be 50 years ago when you really damaged the frame. It became a real serious problem.
And depending upon the severity of the damage, it may be possible to adjust the alignment of the car to still have the wheels be in proper alignment, even if the unibody or the frame of the vehicle is actually bent a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's only a very rare case, and it would be only a small amount you'd be able to compensate for it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, the last question, last text. Can you put plain water in the windshield fluid tank? What about Windex or other cleaners?
Plain water works just fine. If you're going to use Windex or anything like that, I would cut it about 50-50 with water.
There we go. So we're all caught up. There's a couple of anonymous feedbacks we can get to next week because they're timeless.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to get into the mystery shopping report now. And before I do, I want to mention, I'm going to refer to the mystery shopping report because I'm going to say there was a violation of Florida law. And so I downloaded this 2021 Florida law statute. It's 501.976, and it's online. You can go to Florida Law Unfair and Deceptive Trade Practices Act, and I read it. It's worth reading. It's not that long. It's I think two pages, and it shows all the things that car dealers are supposed to adhere to. It was written many years ago, and it's updated occasionally from time to time, but it's worth reading. 501.976, and it's called Actionable Unfair or Deceptive Trade Practices Act, and it tells all of the violations that a dealer does commit, which is against the law, which is pretty serious. And my point in reading this before the mystery shopping report is many of our mystery shopping reports violate this law. And I'm just wondering why our regulators and legislators put up with this. It's against the law. I got a good answer for you. Everybody does it, and it's just too overwhelming to regulate. And I can relate to that because have you driven on I-95 lately? I drove on I-95 with Nancy coming to work, and I was a little bit late to the show, and I was doing 83 miles an hour, and everybody was passing me. So, and I didn't see a cop anywhere, which is good because I was late getting to the radio show. But for the Turnpike, when everybody violates the law, they don't get enforced anymore because it's overwhelming. And that's a terrible situation to find ourselves in. And that's where we are with the Florida Unfair and Deceptive Trade Practices Act 501.976. Download it, read it. It's fun. I'll tell you one thing. If you're familiar with it and you're buying a car, you pull this out and you show the dealer, it'll strike the fear of God into him because he will realize. A lot of dealers don't even realize they're breaking the law.
For sure.
Anyway.
I'm really glad that you brought that up. You and I were reading that, and I'll tell you what, your salesperson's going to run in the other direction.
Yeah.
And there's a whole lot as consumers that we don't know. And that's the reason why we're here every Saturday morning to share our knowledge with you. And I'll take a moment and thank all of you for joining us this Saturday morning, and we hope to see you or hear you right back here next Saturday morning. So with all of that said, we're going to go to Infinity of Stewart. So there you go, Earl Stewart.
Our mystery shop last week was one of the nicest experiences we've ever had in our long history of mystery shopping. Nelson Mazda in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, defied all expectations and treated Agent Lightning, our female shopper, to an honest shopping experience and a price that wasn't over MSRP. Now, normal times that wouldn't be a big deal, but today, let me tell you, if you don't pay over MSRP for a new car, you're getting a pretty good price in today's market. And I say, don't buy a car today. Wait a couple of months. Nelson Mazda wrapped up our 4-part series of Mazda mystery shopping. After 3 horrible experiences at 3 South Florida Mazda dealerships, Southern Palms Mazda, Mazda of Palm Beach, and Wallace Mazda of Stewart, we got out of town and headed north to Tennessee. Agent Lightning fully expected to face another frustrating grind, no different than all the other Mazda dealers. Instead, she found a true blue one-price dealer, real one price, not a lot of one-price dealers, BS one price. This was a true blue one price with non-commissioned salespeople. Almost impossible to find, and no F&I department. The box, the infamous box where you get raped after you buy the car. The car dealers make more money in the finance department than they do in the sales department, and most people don't understand that. In this particular case here, no finance department, no box. Agent Lightning was given a price that reflected the inventory shortage, but did not go over MSRP. Well, almost. Nelson Mazda has a small dealer fee of $397. Nobody's perfect, and that was their little Achilles heel. As if all of that wasn't enough, everyone in the dealership showed respect to their customers, employees, and community by wearing face masks. Hard to believe that so many dealers don't do that. And especially in Florida, where we are the epicenter of this damn COVID situation, and it's mind-blowing to see that happen. The Evans Mazda was the first good Mazda mystery shop we've had. It was also the best mystery shop of all 3 Murfreesboro mystery shops. The more we thought about it, we realized it was one of the very best mystery shops of the whole pandemic, and really of the whole time we've done mystery shops. We searched the recent archive of mystery shops and found the most recent really good mystery shop we could find. It was from November 20th, 2020, courtesy of Infinity of Stewart. So here we are going back, and it was a good shot, and we're going back. We couldn't believe it had been nearly a year since we'd had a good mystery, and now has Infinity of Stewart held up over all this time. Okay. How have they weathered the inventory crisis, and how have they managed to keep things honest and ethical? Well, we're going to find out. Agent Lightning went in for round 2 yesterday. Here's the report. as if I'm Agent Lightning. I entered the showroom early afternoon, was immediately greeted by a woman named Kelly. See a lot of women in all these mystery shops. That's good. She was extremely friendly and asked how she could assist. I told her I was looking at Q50s. I said I had narrowed my search down to the Q50 and the Lexus, is it the IS500? IS500, 300, IS300. Kelly told me that a salesperson named Laura would be helping me. Oh, not a female. She said I would love Laura. She was wonderful. On cue, Laura walked up, introduced herself. She was well-dressed and very professional. We talked about the car I wanted to get. I said I knew I wanted the Q50, but I wasn't sure which trim level or what options I wanted. Laura said that helping her clients figure out exactly what they wanted was her favorite part of the job. After discussing it for a few minutes, we walked over to a gray Q50 in the showroom. It was the Luxe trim level with MSRP $44,860. There was an addendum label affixed to the window. Here we go. Next to the Monroney label, it added $699 for one application of Auto Butler, a BS wax. Nitrogen-filled tires, the ultimate BS, nitrogen in the tires. Wheel locks, the dealer list now was $45,549, up from $44,860. Laura said this one was the best fit based on the conversation. I told her I loved the color and agreed that it was the one I wanted. She asked for my driver's license and left to get the keys. When she returned, I asked her not to go through all the trouble of getting the car out of the showroom. But she said not to worry about it and that Al was already moving the car. Sure enough, an older gentleman was maneuvering the car toward the guy. Still used older gentleman instead of old guy, which is good.
Is this right?
I prefer older gentlemen to old guys.
Okay. You're an older gentleman.
No, I'm not a gentleman. I used to be. Al pulled the Q50 up front. Laura went over for all the features and benefits. We took a test drive, and along the way, Laura asked me where I was looking to be price-wise. You can see she'd been through trading. I said I understood the prices were high because inventories were low, but I did not intend to pay over sticker. Now, that's a very reasonable statement that even you can make today. If you're going to ignore my advice and buy a car today, a new car, just be sure you don't pay over sticker. If you're persistent, you won't have to. Laura said she would do what she could do to get me the best price possible. But you have to be persistent, by the way. And I try to lick my fingers because I'm moving fast here and I can't finger lick pause. Laura really knew their stuff and impressed me with her knowledge of the specifications. I told her so, and she told me that she had been selling cars only for 8 days. Whew. I said my mind was blown. She seemed very, extremely experienced. We returned to the dealership, went back to Laura's desk. She entered into my info into her computer. Then explained she saw I had been there before. So they had records, but they didn't know that she was a mystery shopper. I said I was there about a year ago with my husband, but we never ended up doing anything. A young woman popped her head in to say that the sales manager wanted me to know that this was going to be Laura's first sale. Nice touch. And he's going to make sure that they really take really good care of me. Taking advantage of the newbies, that's something that is considered a sales strategy because you have mercy and you feel sorry for people new on the job.
I was trained to say that I was new for about the first 2 years I was selling cars.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Always tell them you're brand new.
Yeah, that's right. A young woman popped her head in to say, said the salesman, okay, yeah. Laura seemed embarrassed by this. I can see why. I assured her that she was doing fine, and she had to excuse herself to speak with the sales manager, Mike. Name names, folks. These are the real names. I waited a very long time, 30 minutes. That is a long time. I walked over to the reception desk for help. The receptionist pointed to an office where I could see Laura speaking with Mike. I walked back to the desk, and after a few minutes after that, Laura returned with a worksheet. Okay. She apologized for taking so long. I told her not to worry about it. Then she reviewed the sales figures. The top line labeled the market value selling price was MSRP $44,860. $44,860. Okay, if that's a selling price, then what is this? Okay, market value selling price. That's the price, right? No, a $1,000 rebate came off that. Well, that's good, which made the adjusted price $43,860. Then they added, get ready for this. You got to sit down for this one. $995 market adjustment, $695 auto butler / nitro locks and locks. $995 dealer prep. Now remember that dealer prep, and remember what I said about the Florida statutes. $669.95 in taxable fees and $899 dock fee. Holy mackerel, $3,253 over MSRP for a lot of garbage, a lot of BS. I asked for the details of each fee and jotted down her answers on the worksheet. The market adjustments, it was for the chip shortage. The dealer prep was in fact, that's legitimate. I mean, you could, it's honest anyway. You could say, I'm charging you more money because of the chip shortage, okay? I'll buy that. The dealer prep was to make sure it checks out in service and is working properly. Now, that's illegal. And I'm going to stop right there. I hope I have time. Yeah, I do. And I'm going to read you the statute that I just said. This is the law in Florida. Okay? Now, listen carefully. It is an unfair or deceptive act or practice actionable under the Florida Deceptive and Unfair Trade Practices Act for a dealer to charge a customer for any pre-delivery service required by the manufacturer, distributor, or importer for which the dealer is reimbursed by the manufacturer, distributor, or importer. Now, Infinity reimburses Infinity of Stewart for exactly that. And now they're charging the mystery shopper, me, allegedly, for what they've already been reimbursed for, and they're breaking the law. Okay. If I'm lying, sue me, because you know I'm right. And it's the reason I've never been sued in 20 years, because I tell the truth. So here we are. They're charging $995 in dealer prep, and it ain't dealer prep. It's profit to the dealer. So here's the selling price now. $48,113, $3,253 over MSRP. Anyway, we got up here to the, and the dock fee was just a dealer fee, and you know, dealer fee is not strictly illegal unless you advertise it. Anyway, I told her that I didn't feel it was right for them to charge me all these fees. I took issue with the dealer prep charge, and that's why it's illegal to charge me for that. It was ridiculous. They're double charging her. I had to pay $1,000 so the dealer could make sure a brand new Infinity was working properly, which the manufacturer wants me to do and pays me for. So obviously, they got paid twice. I can see why that's illegal. Laura asked me where I needed to be. I remained patient, so I needed to be at MSRP or less, which she said when she walked in the door, which I said. She said she needed to get her sales manager. I told her she needed to be fast. I'd already been there for 2 hours. She returned with Alan. No, not Mike. Alan cut right to the chase.
Alan used to work for us.
Is that right?
As a salesperson.
I'll be darned. Okay. I'm glad Alan's gone. Alan cut right to the chase, asked me how much I was willing to pay. I responded by telling him how impressed I was with Laura. Alan smiled smugly. Alan smugly said that she was trained by the best, implying that he trained her. Is he a manager or is he a sales?
He's a manager at Infinity Store on the website, and but he was a salesperson in our used car department several years ago.
I got you. I told Alan that I explained to Laura early on what I did not want to pay over MSRP. Alan then took me through the whole ringer again, probing me about car payments, etc. I stopped him and said I'd been there too long. He said he could wrap this up and get me into finance quickly. Get him in the box. I was firm. I said unless we could take off the extra fees and get me to MSRP, I wasn't taking the car. I said that meant I needed to be around $47,000 out the door. Alan handed me his business card, then had me sign a handwritten piece of paper. I love this. Signed a handwritten piece of paper that said I'd buy the car if I could be at $47,000 out the door. Alan said the scrap of paper I just signed was non-binding, but he needed it to show the boss. Old school. I mean, what you're doing is you're trying to intimidate the customer into buying the car today. And then you're thinking, gosh, I signed the paper. If I don't buy it today, maybe they can sue me, maybe arrest me. I don't know. But total, pure intimidation. Alan came back a minute later with a new worksheet, this one with an additional $3,661 discount. Bam! In the vernacular in the car business, car dealers say, you drop your pants. That's a vulgar, crude expression. I apologize for offending people. I'm just telling you, that's car dealer vernacular when you drop the price too fast. They always tell you, if you're being smart, come down a little bit at a time, which is hard to do when the customer's running for the door. So they drop their pants. $3,661 discount. The out-the-door price was now $47,327, almost where we want to be, right? Both Al and Laura seemed very pleased that they were able to get such a low price for me. I didn't share their giddiness, and I told them that that was just what happened, was everything I hated about buying the car. I mean, you really worked me over. Alan said, it's just part of the process. And sadly, it is. It's just part of the process. Yeah. And everybody gets worked over, and that's the reason people hate to buy cars at car dealerships.
I do want to say something, this did not sound like the Alan that worked for us. Alan was a mensch. He was just like a laid-back, nice guy. He wasn't an aggressive salesperson. No. Maybe Infinity trained him to be a little tougher.
Well, you know, you make a lot of money lying, cheating, and stealing. I mean, high-pressure tactics work. If you need the money, if you got to feed your family. I'm not making excuses, but I'm just saying that that's the reason people steal, because, you know, who said the bank robber, well, why do you rob banks? Because that's where the money is. Okay. I told them that I needed to go home and discuss things with my family. Alan said the price was good until the end of the day. Yep. More intimidation. I mean, this is super old school. I said to Nancy in the car driving, I don't think the owner of Infinity of Stewart is the same that I used to know. I think when they had the good report, I believe the owner has sold. I'm guessing. I don't know. We'll research that for you. I didn't have time this morning. So anyway, there's the mystery shop. We got a vote, and you are the jury. You're the judge and jury.
Well, we have our listeners are chiming in now. We have Mark gives them a flat F, dishonesty at its worst. And over on Facebook, Linda gives them a big fat F today. My gosh. And then Andrew gives him an F. I don't know what to say. I'm gonna give him an F. It's one thing to have a market adjustment appear on a addendum label that at least it gives you a heads up. That thing didn't appear until they wrote up the deal and put it on the worksheet. And then I don't know what this business is. You got a doc fee and a dealer prep fee and $669 in taxable fees. What's going on? I don't know what's happening here, so I just don't like it. And
excess, definitely excess. Yeah.
Give him an F.
Okay, I got Mark from St. Louis. After talking to my sales manager, grade F. Let's see, Tim Gilliland, market adjustment, dealer prep, nitro-filled tires, auto butler, all reasons to walk away. D. Mark Smith, D-, old school tactics. Bro scientist, I would offer them a Twinkie and a glass of buttermilk while their pants were dropped.
That sounds pretty good.
Brian Sidlaco, D+. Oh, Brian being a nice guy today. Mark Ryan, D-. Wayne, old school F. And for myself, I agree with Stu's assessment on it. I'm going with the F.
It's been a while since we've done that.
Yeah.
For sure.
Nancy?
I got to go more hard-nosed on this one.
Yeah, there you go. You know, remember earlier that Earl shared with you the Florida statute, and that is 501976. Take a read, take a look at it before you go out and purchase your next vehicle. Yeah. And it's real important. It's real important that you present your salesperson with that kind of information because, like I said earlier, they're going to run in the other direction. Knowledge is power. I give them an F.
I'm going to give them a D-. I really, really want badly to give them an F, but we do grade on the curve. if we'd have had an advertisement on there, I might have flipped them to an F. But I feel guilty about giving them a D minus.
No, I hear. I understand your point. There was nothing that drew Agent Lightning in. She went there. Pretty much everything was in front of her, but not those extra fees. Those came at the very end. That was the classic.
Extreme. You're right about that. Okay, folks.
Thank you very much for joining us this morning. Stay tuned. We'll be right back here next week, Saturday morning at 8 a.m.